Was indeed the first year this year I missed the Hong Kong Rugby Sevens since 1993, which was a bit of a blow. Anyway, thanks very much for the invitation to be here this evening. Distinguished guests, award winners, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just really honored to be here and thrilled because it's a very special evening for me. I'm particularly delighted because I've been working here now in Canada for 2 years, and prior to that I had 16 wonderful years in Hong Kong. And I'm told I have an accent. Apparently I have an accent from the United Kingdom, so perhaps I should explain what happened. So I actually left London. Now that's London, England, by the way. That's not London, Ontario. There's a difference. I have to make that qualification now. So I left London, England in 1991, and I was asked to go to spend some time at KPMG in Tokyo, and I ended up spending 5 years there. And in about 1996, I was offered the opportunity to move to Hong Kong with KPMG. And I thought, well, I've just got to be there at such an important time in the history of Hong Kong, at the formation of the Special Administrative Region of Hong Kong. And I packed my bags together with my wife. Actually, more accurately, she'd actually packed the bags. I didn't pack much at all. She'll remind me of that frequently. And we made our way to Hong Kong, and we had an incredible adventure. I was also very fortunate to play a significant role with my previous employer in the aftermath of the global financial crisis in Hong Kong in 2008, and just sharing some old war stories on that with Professor Chan, because we were on sort of opposite sides of the problem, although, as it were, jointly trying to navigate Hong Kong through the crisis in a very pragmatic way at the time, and just reminiscing a bit about that. I actually put the fact that we got through the crisis successfully down to the efforts of my personal assistant at the time, Stella, because Stella spent a large proportion of her time dealing with the feng shui aspects of my office. There was a building opposite me, which I won't name because I don't want to offend anyone, in Hong Kong, that has a very pointed sort of shape to it. And it was pointing straight at my office. And Stella was good enough to put in place some stone lions and various silver balls, bits of bamboo, various money tokens, etc. in my office. And I'm a complete convert to feng shui because we got through that crisis at the time. So I had a fantastic time there. I really got an appreciation, I think, for the history of Hong Kong, its people, the thriving business culture, and the can-do attitude. And I really mean it when I say I've never experienced anywhere in the world that can match the practical execution focus that people of Hong Kong can collaborate together to produce. And when Manulife gets tired of me one day, it could be tomorrow, could be a few years' time, I'm quite sure my wife and I will spend much of our time in Hong Kong. But now I'm here in Canada, and I'm very proud and humbled to be the Chief Financial Officer of Manulife, with its 126-year history and market capitalization of close to, and I say close to, $40 billion. And it's largely because of my background in Asia that I'm here, because Asia represents around a third of our earnings, and Hong Kong is very much the rock upon which that Asian division is based. So I want to really give you 3 brief stories. The first is about Manulife and its long history with Hong Kong. The second is about Hong Kong as an important international financial center and gateway to Asia. And the third story is about the important, very crucial role of business and governments working together for the future success of Hong Kong. So let me start with Manulife in Asia, and let me introduce you to an enterprising man named Alfred Ellis. So 116 years ago, Mr. Alfred Ellis sold his first Manulife insurance policy in Hong Kong at the office of Bradley & Co., which was located in the time in the Queen's Building in Hong Kong. Yeah, so that was 116 years ago. So for reasons beyond most of us, in 1897, a gentleman from Manulife headed east and set up shop in Hong Kong. But that's pretty remarkable because it's only 30 years after Canada was created. And if you think about that in the context of Microsoft and Apple and Google and Twitter, which is only 8 years old, over 100 years is pretty remarkable. In fact, Manulife entered Asia before it actually entered the United States. And we've been in Asia longer than virtually any other international life insurer. Where are we now today in Hong Kong? Because Mr. Ellis, I think, would be pretty proud. So today in Hong Kong, we employ over 1,200 people, and we have more than 6,200 agents. In fact, 1 in 5 people in Hong Kong is a Manulife customer, which is exactly the same as in Canada. And also, yeah, that's worth, thank you very much. Yeah. And you may not be aware of this, but in Hong Kong we have something called the Mandatory Provident Fund, which is the retirement scheme, if you like, established by the government in 1999. And Manulife is the second largest provider under the Mandatory Provident Fund in Hong Kong, behind only our very good friends at HSBC. But we are, however, number 1 in net cash flows every month. So all the money moving around in the Hong Kong market under MPF, we're number 1 in terms of cash flow. So that's a pretty remarkable achievement, and we're very proud of those accomplishments. So we expect to be in Hong Kong for a very long time to come, and we're expecting strong growth in the coming years. So that leads me to my second story, which is really the gateway to Asia. And I think many people who don't really know Hong Kong, they know it's a vibrant metropolis with the highest density of population and the most skyscrapers of any urban center in the world. But what they may not know is that it's also home to the most spectacular scenery and greenery, with more than half the city surrounded by wonderful hiking trails and parks. And personally, there's nothing better for me than to be hiking on the trails on the top of Hong Kong Island, looking out at the central business district, the island south side, the distant islands off to the south, and also Kowloon to the north. Well, you have to finish off with a cold beer in the Chinese restaurant in Sheko. That just tops it off nicely. The only thing comparable to that for me was probably greeting my horse in the winner's enclosure at Sha Tin Racecourse. That's also a good experience. So Hong Kong is a wonderful city in which to work. It's become a gateway to Asia, massively multicultural. It's 5 hours away from half of the world's population, and it's the entry point to many markets. Hong Kong's an open door to a rapidly aging population, as well as over 1 billion people that are transitioning into the middle class. And that's why it's so important to Manulife, because these people are, if you like, the addressable population for us. And with the aging populations in Hong Kong, mainland China, Japan, and Singapore, Hong Kong is ideally placed. And we can offer retirement, health, and wealth management solutions there. And then we have the great statistic from in 2014 that Hong Kong ranked number 1 in the Index of Economic Freedom produced by the Heritage Foundation in partnership with the Wall Street Journal, and well deserved too. But it's not just Manulife that sees the benefit of Hong Kong as a gateway to Asia. More than 160 Canadian companies have operations in Hong Kong, and about 1/3 of those use Hong Kong as their regional headquarters. In fact, according to the last statistics that I saw from the Canadian government, Hong Kong is now Canada's 6th largest export market, larger than Germany, France, South Korea, Brazil, India, Australia, and Russia, which is pretty exciting. So that leads me to my final story. What does the next 116 years look like for Hong Kong? And I think it's pretty bright, as evidenced by the outstanding award finalists that we have here tonight to celebrate, and congratulations to all of you. And just a little anecdote, the gentleman from Royal Bank of Canada, Doug Moore, was my next-door neighbor for 10 years in Hong Kong, purely coincidental. So nice to see him doing so well. So continue to succeed in future. Hong Kong will not only need the ongoing support of the business community, it will also need academic and government institutions to be part of its growth. For any world city to thrive in the next century, partnerships with important academic institutions will be paramount. And that's why we're very proud at Manulife to have established the Manulife Asia Desk with the Martin Prosperity Institute at the University of Toronto's Rotman School of Management. The Manulife Asia Desk will be a hub for thought leadership and research related to major Asian cities. The project will provide quality, relevant research for Canadian companies looking at expanding into Asia and Asian markets, and we're very proud to be a part of bringing this important information forward. So clearly Asia is very important to Manulife, but it should be for many Canadian companies as well. I'd like to applaud the great work done by the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office for the work it does in promoting Hong Kong, working with governments and helping Canadian companies establish in Hong Kong. For the next 116 years, we need to see the same progressive and competitive tax system that is the lowest in Asia Pacific and will continue to attract businesses to the wonderful city. We need to encourage significant investment in the city so it will be able to continue to grow and thrive. We at Manulife, we recently made an acquisition of a tower, the Manulife Tower in Kowloon East, for the sum of 588 million Canadian dollars. And it's the largest building transaction in Kowloon and a great example of our commitment to the future prosperity of Hong Kong. And I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Hong Kong is perfectly positioned to be the hub for Canadian companies in Asia. It has the geography, the people and the skills, as well as the diversity and the drive. And Canada, and I can say this as a Brit, because I'm an honest broker in this matter, Canada is an excellent partner in Asia because it's sophisticated, it's strong, it's reliable, and it's reasonable. And from my relatively independent standpoint, I believe Canada and Hong Kong have a great future to succeed together. Thank you very much.